Welcome to Kelso's College of Advanced Handicapping. I'm Kelso Sturgeon. Today we're going to talk primarily about college football. I hope you did bring along your pens and your pencils and a note sheet, because we have a lot to talk about, and I do think that it will be to your advantage as we progress toward the football season to make notes and refer back to them. I think many of these things are important, especially tomorrow's session on the NFL. Got a lot of technical conversation. It's not your run-of-the-mill pick a winner kind of thing. But let's get to the college football. You know, I released on my website my preseason top 10, topped by Oregon and Alabama, 1-2. In the fifth spot was Texas A&M, who at 30-1, I believe, is a legitimate contender to win the national championship. Might want to take a little flyer there in the futures and grab a little of that 30-1 on Texas A&M. At some books you might get more than that's being offered here in Las Vegas. You know, also I point out that, you know, I'd like to kill a thought that just the media will not give up on. I've read several articles so far about how difficult it's going to be for Nebraska to compete with the very physical teams of the Big Ten. Who are you trying to kid? When it comes to being physical, let's just list the conferences. The SEC is by far the most physical. The ACC is next. The Big 12, for which Nebraska dropped out, is next. And then there's possibly the Big 10 in the fourth spot, but you know, the Pac-10 may be more physical than that. The Big 10 is a good conference. I'm not denigrating it, but I keep getting so annoyed that a brain-dead media keeps referring to this as the most physical conference in the country. I'll tell you, if you want to try physical, take on some of those SEC teams, ACC teams, and teams from the Big 12. You know, when Big 10 play is over and the Big 10 teams go to the bowl games, they get their butts kicked almost every single game. They'll win one every once in a while, but forget this, that Nebraska is not going to be able to compete in the Big Ten because of how physical the Big Ten is. Nebraska will be the most physical team in the Big Ten, period. Take it to the bank. Now, you know, there's a lot of betting lines already up on college football games. I want to mention just a couple of them because they're actually very key games. You know, on the opening weekend of the season, Boise State and Georgia meet in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Very interestingly, the advanced betting line on this game opened with Boise State -6. That's been bet down to -1.5 Boise State, as money just poured in on Georgia. I don't know whether I agree with that or not, but I'm just telling you, the big money hit Georgia. The number dropped from Boise -6 to -1.5. Another game of great interest, and this matches two top 4 teams in my ratings. You know, Oregon and LSU meet in the opening weekend of the season in Arlington, Texas, at the Cowboys Stadium. Oregon opened a 3-point favorite. They've been bet down to 2. Now, the biggest move of the opening that I saw in the first 2 weeks of the season, we have Notre Dame at Michigan State on the second Saturday of the season. Michigan State opened 3. Notre Dame is now a 2-point favorite, a 5-point shift. The wise guys jumped in and bought all of Notre Dame they could. Just for what it's worth, that was the biggest line move that I saw in the first 2 weeks of the season, was on Notre Dame. You might want to get some of that money too. Now, you know, you can get on board early for my college and NFL season with an early bird price of just $199. That includes the entire college season, the entire NFL season, plus 2 200-unit Game of the Year plays, 3 100-unit plays, and it also includes that kickoff game. I'm releasing my first 100-unit game of the college football season on opening night, Thursday, September the 1st. 100-unit play, guaranteeing an absolute blowout. If I could, they won't let me bet the game today. If they could, I'd lay 40 points and not even blink. I don't care what the line is. I'll win this one. A 100-unit play on the opening night of the season. Now, you can start winning by signing up for football right now for that $199 fee, because you get all my Best Bets Club baseball selections too. I mean, you can start winning in baseball today and build that bankroll up. for the football season. And for the record, I am ripping and tearing in baseball and don't intend to stop. And for the record, I have 50-unit plays Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Get on board for football and win all the big baseball games between now and the opening of the season. The price, $199. Sign up on this website or toll free at 1-800-755-2255. All major credit cards are accepted. Now, you get into the college football, and I said last week, that there was no question in my mind that Rice and Kansas State would open the season as two of the most underrated teams in college football, and probably would be value bets for at least the first month of the season. Well, you can add Arizona State to that list too. And studying this past week, Arizona State emerges as a standout football team. I didn't put them in my top 10, but they may end up there before the season is over. Arizona State is loaded and is primed to explode and have a grand football season. So, three underrated teams, Kansas State, Rice, and Arizona State. Mark them down, and don't forget that you can take a point spread edge with each of these teams early in the season until the bookmakers catch up. Now, I'd like to go over my top 10 just briefly, highlighting maybe 2 or 3 teams. Heading my top 10 is Oregon. Oregon has everything going for it this season. It has the best 1-2 punch in college football in quarterback Darren Thomas, who passed for almost 3,000 yards and 30 touchdowns last season, and running back LaMichael James, who rushed for 1,700 yards and 21 touchdowns last season. When you have a 1-2 punch like that, you have 2 game breakers on the same team. Oregon has a great offensive line. The defense will be much improved over last season. The national championship is Oregon's to lose. Of course, they've got that tough game to open the season against LSU. That will not be a cakewalk for anybody. Alabama's in the number 2 spot. Alabama has so much collective talent that they have blue chippers 3 deep at every single position, and they'll just plug them in and keep right on rolling. Oklahoma, loaded, absolutely loaded, but they still haven't proved they can win the big one. They've got a quarterback in Landry Jones who can beat you by himself. Last season, passed for almost 5,000 yards and 38 touchdowns. Going to be a very, very dangerous team, and their defense will be one of the top 10 in the entire country. LSU is number 4, Texas A&M number 5, Florida State number 6, Notre Dame number 7, Boise State number 8, Nebraska 9, a very shaky 9. Nebraska needs to develop some chemistry. And number 10, South Carolina. South Carolina might surprise you a bit, but this team is certainly no worse than the 3rd team in the SEC behind LSU and Alabama. And Steve Spurrier has put it all together. He's got 3 deep skilled players at every position too, blue chippers, and South Carolina is going to rock and roll and cause a lot of noise this particular football season. Tomorrow I want you to be sure and come back and tune in for my NFL session, and I want you to definitely bring that pen and pencil tomorrow, because I've got a lot of notes that you're going to want to take. I'm using a lot of numbers, and they will be of great value to you. In the meantime, get on board for college and NFL football right now for the early bird price of just $199. You'll save $150 off of what the price will be when the season begins, and get baseball free every single day starting right now. The whole package, $199, available on this site and toll free at 1-800-755-2255.